Just final finishing touches here at the London Olympic Stadium. Nick Callow, Charlie Woollard, live here in East London of sorts for West Ham United against Arsenal.
I'll tell you what, the view's pretty good from up here.
Isn't it? Yeah, I mean, you look lovely.
Nice. Thank you. Oh, yeah, we're the real view. But yes, guys, welcome to another HaytersTV live stream. West Ham United versus Arsenal, a 2 p.m. kickoff, a lovely 2 p.m. kickoff on a Sunday. Me and Nick love a 2 p.m. kickoff on a Sunday. Don't get home too late, do we?
No, we've had a very nice West Ham spicy chicken curry type Mexican thing.
Very spicy.
Yeah. I tell you, if the football's as hot as that, then
I was about to say the same thing. But yeah, we are going to quickly wait for a few people to join before we talk about the lineups, because there is some interesting team news regarding
huge news
West
from
Ham.
Arsenal and West Ham.
Yes, 8 changes for West Ham compared to their last game out in Belgium, and just the one for Arsenal.
Yeah, and if I said Alexander Zinchenko will not be making his 100th Premier League appearance today, you'll know where the Arsenal big news is coming from.
Big shock that is as well,
isn't it?
Massive shock. But yes, welcome Shift, who's just joined the live stream. Makana,
Hi Shift.
Hanu, hope I pronounced that okay.
Yeah.
I'll be here waiting. Come on, you Gunners. Shout out to you, my friend.
Where are you watching from, guys? What do you think the score is going to be? We'll be giving you our predictions in a minute, but we'd love to know what you got to think about the match too, because it's all about you guys watching HaytersTV, coming in here watching the pre-match live show, and hopefully sticking around for the post-match press conferences. We've got Charlie Woollard on the cameras today.
Nothing to go wrong.
Excellent 4K super UHD precision filming with all the timestamps and all the reactions. 3-1 Ollie Rahman.
3-1. I've actually gone 3-0. What have you gone for?
I'm going to go 2-1 to Arsenal.
2-1. Last time 3-1 actually, Ollie, was the scoreline when these two sides met on Boxing Day. West Ham took the lead, Ben Rama penalty, and then it all sort of changed very, very quickly in the second half. But the last time Arsenal played here at the London Stadium, I was here covering for HaytersTV as always. It was a 2-1 scoreline, so there is always plenty of goals between these two sides.
Yeah,
they love goals, Arsenal, West Ham. So
yeah, it's a classic, London derby fixture. I really enjoy it. Two teams that go back a long, long way together. Arsenal have always usually had the upper hand, but West Ham are desperate for points today, Charlie. If West Ham don't win today, maybe they don't stay up. If Arsenal don't win today, they can kiss goodbye to the league title, don't you think?
Yeah, 100%. And I think to say as well, the game between West Ham and Arsenal this season is very different, because the last 2 seasons, West Ham have been flying, sitting just below Champions League in Europa League, Europa Conference League this year. But then this season, it's gone very west. They're sitting just 3 points above the relegation zone, which I know none of these West Ham fans are going to be wanting to play in Championship next season, especially with some of the players they've got. Lucas Paqueta, Brazilian World Cup star. They've got Gianluca Scamacca, who is out, but Declan Rice. They've got a few good players.
Jared Bowen.
Yeah, Jared Bowen as well.
Lucas Fabianski, by the way. You carry on talking, Charlie.
We are going to read out the team news. Shout out to everybody that is joining the live stream. Ollie says we can't overlook West Ham. Got to approach with caution, and that is exactly the fact. Because
wise words, Ollie.
Let me tell you something, Ollie. London derby or any derby of any sort, teams turn up. And we've only got to look at Liverpool, for example. Had a rough season. They turn up for the big games. And this is a big game for West Ham today.
It's huge.
But we are going to talk about the team.
Let's have a look at Si Warder. He wants a comfortable one today. His nerves are in tatters. Who are you supporting, Si?
Don't be nervous.
Just enjoy the game. As David Moyes says, Mikel says, enjoy the football. Enjoy the ride. Who knows where we're going to end up? But who do you support, Si? Looks like Calvin Lew's an Arsenal fan. He's predicting Arsenal win, unless he doesn't want to tempt fate as West Ham fan.
3-2 says Calvin, though.
Well, I'll take that.
Right, so we are going to talk about the team news. So it is 8 changes for West Ham from their last game out in Belgium against Ghent. Lucas Fabianski, former Arsenal goalkeeper, as always in goal. Aaron Creswell, Kurt Zuma, Vladimir Kufau, and just a bit of a scary change as such. Tilo Kehrer, very, very good defender, but he starts centre-back today, which I know the West Ham fans, and any West Ham fans in the chat, they don't really want him playing centre-back. He's better playing at full-back. So no Ogbonna for West Ham. Lucas Paqueta, Mikel Antonio, Jared Bowen, Said Ben Rama, and Thomas Souček with Declan Rice, as always, the skipper for West Ham. Just one change for Arsenal. Aaron Ramsdale, as always, in goal. And the change is Kieran Tierney for Alexander Zinchenko. As Nick said right at the start of the live stream, no 100.
We understand he's got that slight injury he always seems to have every now and then.
A tight groin. Ben White, Thomas Partey, Gabriel, Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, the skipper, Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, Rob Holding, and Granit Xhaka. There is too many Gabriels in that starting 11 for Arsenal. Gabby, and Gabby. But 8 changes for West Ham, 1 for Arsenal. I think this game as always, there's plenty of goals, Nick. But do you feel Arsenal are going to walk over West Ham as such? Do you think it's going to be a much bigger test for Arsenal today?
Yeah, I mean, just look at the way the last time Arsenal played away to Liverpool. They were so good for the first 35 minutes, 2-0 up. They played like they could beat any team in the world, and it's amazing that they didn't win that match really. And I think they must still be really hurting from that.
And do you feel like
that
Arsenal?
Sorry.
Do you feel like Arsenal are going to feel even more pressure coming today, considering Manchester City winning 3-1 yesterday looks very comfortable?
I mean, it'd be impossible for them not to, wouldn't it? Do you think? Because now Arsenal have to win. If they'd won that match at Liverpool, take a bit of the pressure off. They could maybe draw them today. You know, now looking like they're going to have to go to Manchester City and win, certainly not lose. But they have to win this one, and they have to beat Southampton at home next week as well to make it worth going to Manchester City.
And I just want to quickly talk about, as we know, we have a lot of Arsenal fans that follow us here on HaytersTV. We'll welcome all fans.
Including Cyborg Order, he's come out as an Arsenal fan.
Arsenal, if we go 1-0 down, I ain't coming from behind the sofa until we equalise. Love that sign. But what I do want to quickly mention is one player in this Arsenal starting 11 who I don't think has got the applause, get a bit more applause. I know he made a mistake against Liverpool. It's Rob Holding. I think he's been really good since Saliba's obviously been out. It's a massive miss because William Saliba, as we all know, has been a fantastic addition to this Arsenal squad this season. Such a presence at the back. But Rob Holding, I know, conceded the penalty against Liverpool, but he actually looked fairly comfortable. It was looking okay.
He's a quality player, you know. He's an England international. I know he's not as good as Saliba, and he gets a bit of stick for not being as good as Saliba, but not many players are. Let's face it.
Big boots to fill, though, isn't it?
It's huge. Who's he going to be up against today? He's got to look after Benrahma.
Antonio's always a massive.
I think that's not a bad matchup because they're both strong sort of guys, and
I think a tussle up top, as they say.
It's a bit of a tussle up top. I mean, as you say, Holding has been playing pretty well. I mean, for me, the midfield battle is crucial with Thomas Partey and Martin Odegaard. They've got a bit. Martin Odegaard wasn't his best against Liverpool.
No, I think. But same as Bukayo Saka. Had a decent first half out at Liverpool, but was quite quiet in the second half. But Ollie says here, I personally restarted Trossard this game. To be honest with you, I can see why he hasn't started Trossard, because if you started Trossard, you've got to drop one of the front three.
Eddie and Ketty are on the bench as well with Leandro Trossard.
Yeah, he's back in training.
Emil Smith-Rowe. You know, there's some options for Arteta there. I really like Will Waters, the young defender, who will be in the FA Youth Cup final for Arsenal against West Ham.
Massive.
So this is a precursor to the FA Youth Cup final.
25th of April, I believe, and it's at the Emirates as well.
We'll be there for that one, without a doubt. Can't wait for that one. But as you can see, they're calling out the teams here. They're pretty empty Olympic Stadium so far. As we look at the time, we've got about 45 minutes to go kick off at the moment.
Number 11,
12 Arsenal fans here at the moment, and a few hundred West Ham fans.
16, Rob
Screening their programmes, getting ready to get Rob Holding, getting a mention. Charlie, we've done. I said 2-1, you said 3-1.
That's
so we've got Max 100 saying 5-0 to the Arsenal. Ollie Rahman just doesn't. He would have started Trossard. Inspector Mukfai, we go past West Ham by God's will. We've got on their side as well.
See, Jordan agrees with me. 3-0 Arsenal. Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus. I mean, imagine all the front three scoring today would be quite a statement.
I don't know if you're a betting man, but if you have a pound on 3-0 Arsenal, Saka, Martin, and Jesus scoring, you could probably win more pound back by the end of the game.
Just make sure to send us some winnings as well. But what I do want to mention
they're getting excited about West Ham now as well.
There's been a few changes to the stadium this season for West Ham, because I actually spoke to Angelo Ogbonna on Friday for the Man on Sunday, which is really interesting because he's actually not on the squad today, which is a bit of a shock because he picks up a bit of a niggle on Thursday against Gens out in Belgium, but they expected him to start today. He's not even in the squad, but he was saying the reason why I mentioned the stadium is because he started to bring the stadium and the stands a bit closer to the pitch, because it's 3 years ago. It was very awkward to play there because the atmosphere wasn't there and it was just a bit tough. But shout out Olivia in the chat. I'm rooting for West Ham today.
Oh, Olivia.
Big West Ham fan.
Well done, Olivia. Good for you. There was someone there saying these binoculars. I can't see that comment anymore now. Oh, yeah, it's Christian Celesti. Hope I pronounced that right, Christian. Of CC, as I imagine your friends call you. Well, we need that's why I've got my extra big glasses today. Charlie's young, he doesn't need his glasses.
Well, I don't know. I wear contacts. I've got to make sure I can see the picture, especially from up here as well. To be honest with you, it's quite a nice view.
I tell you, it's a lovely, mild, spring-like day here in London this afternoon.
No coat for me today, just a jumper.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, I've had some great memories here covering athletics too. The Olympics in 2012 was 11 years ago now. It doesn't seem too far. Where does time go? Why does time fly so quick? I've been seeing Mo Salah and not Mo Salah.
Mo Salah? Mo Salah? Right,
Mo Salah
let's
running
get
around
back to the
track.
chat, I think we should say. Abdul says, is the title currently in City's hands? Let us know. That's a great question. Let us know what you think in the comments. But I'm personally going to say, technically, yes, because they have got the game in hand after today, and that is actually against West Ham at the Etihad. And people would say, is that an easy walkover for Manchester City? But in previous seasons, I'm going to say, Man City tend to slip up against teams that they're supposed to be beating.
Yeah, but Charlie, if Man City win all their games, they're
They can win
champions.
the league, of course.
If Arsenal win all the games and Man City win all the games, City win the league. Is that right? So it's technically, I would say the answer to the question is yes.
However, anything can happen. It's the Premier League, and this is why we cover the Premier League. It's the best league in the world. Anything can happen, and this is why we should never write off West Ham today, because, like I said earlier, teams turn up for specific games, and this is a game they're definitely going to be up for.
We both tipped Arsenal to win, but my 2-1 was because I think, if you ask West Ham fans, they are always think they're going to turn over Arsenal in this match. I spoke to quite a few coming up around today. I know West Ham fans, I know Arsenal fans. I don't think the Arsenal fans are overly confident in this one.
Really?
Yeah,
I've seen a mixed response, but I think the West Ham fans, I've spoken to a lot of West Ham fans within the last few months. I get to speak to David Moyes quite often with his press conferences for Haters, and their problem realistically is not only just conceding the goals, it's scoring the goals. It's been the real problem for West Ham this season. They've got some great strikers. You've got the likes of Gianluca Scamacca. Yes, he is injured, just frequently injured. Danny Ings, who's on the bench today, which scored on Thursday, and it's quite a shock that he's on the bench today. And Mikel Antonio.
He's a good player, Danny Ings. I'm surprised. Maybe they're resting him, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be an element West Ham thinking save their players for more winnable games. That is a thing that, but for me, I think this is a winnable game for West Ham.
It is, and especially at home. And David Moyes talks a lot, and a lot of managers talk about having their home as a fortress. And considering they're in a relegation battle, this is the place that they need to start picking up points. Because away from home, if you're taking a point from away from home in a relegation battle, it's considered a good point. But here is where the points matter. They need 3 points of that.
Well, West Ham should be confident. They got a draw in Europe in midweek. They won against Fulham in the last match. For them, this is quite a good bit of a run. Arsenal have to win, so I think there's more pressure on Arsenal.
100%. Let's get back to the comments for a second.
Olivia Beardsley, we call you Ollie B, has now revealed themselves as a Chelsea fan. We don't want London Red.
Interesting.
Is that a wine? We'll have a nice bottle of London Red, please.
But in all fairness, she does have a point, because Chelsea in previous years have dominated in terms of their trophies, Champions League, FIFA Club World Cups, and they're competing in the FA Cup and in the league. But this season is a completely different story.
We love a bit of Chelsea on HaytersTV, as you know, so it's a bit of a shame to see them down in the dumps. What are our relegation? I tell you, Abdul's got all the questions. Relegation predictions. I think Southampton down is about the only one. I was going to say. About the only one I can safely predict.
Who are the other two? If you had to put a name to it, I'd have to push you for a name.
I'd have to study the table, but
quick fire. Come on.
Everton and Forest.
Okay. Everton, Forest, Southampton. Let us know what you think in the chat.
Repeat it, watch it again and again, and see if I'm right. Abdul, what are your predictions anyway, Abdul? All the questions.
I'm going to go with, unfortunately,
Leicester.
I like Forest quite a lot. I do like Forest. I like the City ground. However, I think it's going to be Southampton, Forest, and Everton. Yeah, I think so. There you go.
Oh, well, it must be true.
There you go.
We're so high up, CC reckons Leicester.
Leicester, to be in all fairness, right, I'm not going to be Mr. Negative for West Ham, but I was actually speaking to one of their league reporters for Football London, John T. Coleman, and he was sort of telling me about their running. Have you seen their running?
Miserable?
Very miserable. Trust me, it's very miserable. They got the likes of Manchester United, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Brentford away. Leicester also in the relegation.
This is even bigger game for West Ham. I might even revise my prediction to another 2-2.
This is what I'm saying. It's a huge game because they haven't
got
too many home games.
Changing it 2-2. It's going to be a humding of a 2-2.
Will be a shame to see Forest to go down. Nice to have a new team in the Prem, and that's why I like Forest as well. I love seeing a newly promoted side not just bounce back down, because they call it a yo-yo club as such.
What's this track, by the way, Charlie?
I don't know, but I'm sort of liking it, to be fair.
I thought I could see a two-step. See his feet tapping down there.
Joe Kelly says 2-1 and Arsenal march on. Inspector says anything is possible. It's upon Arsenal to win all its games, and they will decide whom to give the trophy. Very wholesome from Inspector there. I like that. Abdul, as an Arsenal fan, I kind of hope West Ham go down just so we can get Declan Rice. In all fairness, right, Abdul, you've reminded me, because that's a massive talking point, because Declan Rice for years, I actually like linking this Jack Grealish when he was at Aston Villa. He was sort of the man in the club. A lot of teams outside were creating noise. They wanted him, fans want him to stay, but they weren't competing for trophies. And just like West Ham, they're not competing for too many trophies. And Declan Rice wants to be competing at the highest level. Yeah. And that's no disrespect to West Ham, but it's just the way football goes. Do you think?
I think it's going.
Do you think Declan Rice will join Arsenal next season?
I don't know if he'll join Arsenal, but I think he'll join somewhere else because United will have him. City would probably take him. Chelsea would take. He's got his pick of the top clubs. Declan Rice.
He's a mate. He's a great player, isn't he?
Yeah, we know that Arsenal like him. Oh, hello. We're going to have to go now because the players are coming out of the pitch. We've got to get on with our day job, so to speak. And I think Declan Rice will go. Please come back after the game and watch the press conference. David Moyes and Mikel Arteta. Give us your comments and reaction to that too. Thanks so much for watching us. There's 139 million people watching us live, or 139, maybe 31, I'm not sure.
But yeah, as I said, thank you so much for joining us. Myself, Charlie, and Nick Callow here at the London Stadium. 2 p.m. kickoff. It's Arsenal versus West Ham. The title race and the relegation battle is heating up here, and it's heating up on HaytersTV. Goodbye.
It's still there, Charlie. Bye.